Morning, America! Whoop. Morning, America! Finally did it. I blew my top earlier. I got mad and started throwing stuff. Yeah, I have been bad days too, just like everybody else. I got out here, started sanding on this thing, and let me explain. Okay, my planer is only, let me move you up a little bit here. My planer is a 12.5-inch planer, and if I put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of these in here, it wouldn't fit. So I had to put 8 and another 8. Well, 8 and 8 is 16, and I need 17 boards, okay? So these are all glued together and routed and planed real smooth, and these are all glued together and routed and planed real smooth. Then I had to have another one that I routed to the same thickness, and I had to put it in here when I clamped all this stuff together, okay? Now, the problem is, I got glue on fingers. Can't feel anything. Oh, if you ever wanted to rob a bank or anything and didn't want any fingerprints, get some wood glue, put a little sawdust. Yeah, you'd never get a fingerprint off of me right now. Anyway, a little side note there for you, law-breaking people. Anyway, when I glued these together, these are real smooth and these are real smooth. But right here where this transition, or where the middle board is, I couldn't, you line it up as close as you can, but it's not quite right. You can feel it, okay? And once you put your stain and your polyurethane on there, you'll probably be able to see it pretty well too. Another thing is, well, let me see if I can get you down in here real close. All right. Oh, I'm gonna take the handle off. Be right with you. Okay. Right here, you can see that wood right there. Okay, there's glue right here. Okay, there was a crack. Remember the crack? And I put some glue in there and put some sawdust. Well, there's glue and sawdust on the surface right here, and I got to sand all the way down and get through all of that. Otherwise, it will show terribly. Let me show you how bad it shows on the little short board. I already got it done. This is the front side of it, and I got most of that done. But on the back, this is where I tested all the different the stains. This is the dark walnut. This is the Cabernet or something like that. It's a reddish stain. And then this is the American walnut. And that's I chose it because I like it the best. Okay, that just looked too dark and too black. Okay. Anyway, you can see where I glued. You can really see the glue. I didn't sand this off because this is the underside. Okay. And right here, there's a bunch of glue right here too. And I didn't sand that off because it's underneath. But that just shows you how much it shows up. And it even shows up after you sand it. I got a few little things where it's soaked in and I didn't get it all off of here. And you can see right in through here and down in here. And they're little blemishes. But, there's to a certain point. Let's turn you around. To a certain point, that adds character. And it shows you that I'm not perfect. I'm not a perfect woodworker. I try my best. I learned most of what I know. I learned from my dad. Thank you, Dad. I learned a lot off of your regular TV shows like This Old House and woodworking type of shows like that. Norm Abram. I learned a lot of stuff from him, watching him. I think that's where I learned to put the glue in there and the sawdust. And that's basically the glue and the sawdust just replaces that right there. It's wood filler. Okay. So, hindsight, I probably should have used the wood filler. I wouldn't have to sand so much. But the wood filler shows up too if you don't sand it down. It's filling the crack, but if it's on the surface, it shows real bad. And like right in here, you're off camera right there. But like right in here, I can really feel a bump right in here. Now, what did I started out saying, I can't get this camera right. I started out saying I lost my temper. Well, you want to see my temper? Here it is. There's that power cord. Right up there. That right there. I tried using a belt sander on the other one, and I was using it on the back side, just trying to smooth it out a little bit, and it kept throwing belts. Kept throwing the belt. So finally I got a new belt, put it on there, and it threw it. And I know there's an adjustment here. I don't use this thing hardly ever. Anyway, there's an adjustment there somewhere, and this is where you put the belt on. And anyway, it kept throwing belts, And then not only did it throw belts, it would, the belt would separate. Let me show you one here. Where they glue them together. Now, my dummy, I probably put it on backwards or something. But where these glue together, that kept ripping off, kept ripping. And I don't, you know, you can put it this way or that way. There's no sign on the inside showing which way they go. It's like, it's not directional or anything. But it just ticked me off. I ruined 2 of these belts, and anyway, I just got mad. Finally got through it, fed up, and I threw it way over there, hit the concrete and broke it. And then I went over and got even madder and started slinging it. Taking it like this and slinging it on the concrete. It's amazing, as hard as I did, 4 or 5 times, and that's all the more broke it is. Now, the trigger's gone, and there's this thing here broke and stuff. The wheel on the front's gone. But it's amazing. I thought when I did the slinging, I was throwing a fit. And I'm sitting here, bam! I figured it would just shatter in a million pieces, and it didn't. It's still, so it's well built, was well built, so I don't know. There it is, junk, trash. I probably won't buy another one because I don't use it hardly ever, but it's convenient when you do need it. But anyway, van build, or trailer build. Somebody in the comments said, hey Stan, you ought to go into doing this, full time and make a business out of it. No way, no way. I do it for the fun of doing it. And there's days when I hate coming out here. It's hot today, it's hot and muggy. And I think that's another thing. I get a real short temper when I get hot and sticky and muggy, I'm just constantly wiping sweat off my brow, constantly, and that's why I want to get this trailer and go live somewhere where it's cooler. When it gets hot in Texas, I want to go somewhere else. With that said, I better get back to sand. I got a lot of sanding to do on this thing, and I got to get all the way down and get that hump out of there because the board wasn't quite level, so I got to sand all that board down to 1/64th, or 1/128th or something, it's just enough where you can feel it, but anyway, but I got to get that down so I can get down and get that glue that's in here. So a lot of sanding to go, and I don't know if you saw me earlier, I put new sandpaper on this one. I put that little plastic thing in here. This is for people that just don't know this stuff. A lot of you guys probably know this stuff, but some of you don't. But what you do is you put the sandpaper on and it's just solid. Well, you put this on there and it's got all these little spikes. You line it up in the corner and push it on and it puts holes in there. And that's for the sawdust to go up there and it fills up this little canister. You empty that every so often. Not quite as much sawdust floating around. Anyway, back to work.